a Neanderthal. So toxic, but I can't get enough. You bury me, bury me. Yeah, you bury me, bury me. You've got me hypnotized. Push me out of myself. You've got me hypnotized. Whoa. I can see, I can hear, going crazy for the luck. It's got me hypnotized. You've got me hypnotized. Can get you out of my head.
Hello. Welcome to another Honor Ramble here on our local establishment. I am, as always, Kyle Sparks, and over here is the magnificent Auntie Collins. Collins, how are you doing?
Hi, how's it going?
It is going well. We're here to talk another abbreviated and championless championless episode of Ring of Honor on Honor Club.
Boy, what a memorable week.
Yeah.
Before we jump in, Kyle, how are you?
I'm doing great. It has been a fun week. It's just kind of flown by. I'm just going to work, coming back, taking care of the kids, like doing dad stuff. I got my dad's sweater on, which is very appropriate because with this episode of Ring of Honor, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Oh no. You know how much I feared that as a child?
Yes.
A lot of conversations were had, obviously.
Oh, I find that incredibly hard to believe.
Oh, okay. I'm the middle child, so I'm the kid that broke stuff, lit stuff on fire, jumped off things. I mean, I'm the kid who had 4 concussions before I was 18. So I think that says a lot about
I was the
me.
first child, so I was.
That fits. That fits.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But no, this was good. How has your week been?
I was trying to think of what I did this week. I'm obviously getting over my sinus infection. My ears haven't popped yet, though, because I still have that ear infection. I'm done with my antibiotics, but my ear will go in and out of popping. So I have some earplugs that I usually wear to concerts and wrestling shows and everything, so I don't get overstimulated. And I've just been wearing them at work, which is kind of great because people think that they're headphones, so they don't talk to me. But I can hear everything. But it's kind of nice to have that. But I mean, I was supposed to go get a tattoo this weekend or last weekend, had to reschedule it for this weekend. Got to go tour the wedding venue this weekend. So getting closer.
Oh man. See, there you go.
See, where did you get married, Kyle?
Actually, I got married at the chapel on the college where my wife and I both went. And not to get overly personal, but I feel like this is a reasonable. This is just the right amount of personal, I think, where it's not going to get used against me.
Yeah.
Will be really romantic. It was where my parents had actually gotten married as well.
Oh, that's so nice. I love that. My
So that
parents
was
got married in a living room, so they're
that
not
was
together still.
that was that I didn't ask for a lot with my wife when we were
Yeah.
planning everything, but I was like, I want this.
That's really
And
special,
that was
though. I love
so.
that. Yeah. I don't know. We have some family coming in from out of town. My brother from New Jersey is bringing his brand new little baby. I'm gonna be crying before we even say I do. So I don't know. So
Waterproof makeup,
yeah.
waterproof mascara.
Oh, if the
Uh,
gals on AW can do it, so can I. So
there you go, Bobby. My wife and I got married at the Justice of the Peace's nice basement. It was beautiful. Hey, you know what?
see,
At the end
I
of the
love it.
day, it doesn't really matter where, because it's about the people. It's about those people that you love.
Yeah, and whether it's engagement ring or a wrestling ring, it's all about the people, right?
Well, I feel like history tells us that wrestling ring is a really bad choice.
Every wrestling wedding.
It's
Oh.
it's not good. It's not good. But
I added to
no,
my ambiance this week.
it
Ooh.
looks wonderful. You can actually check out. I saw the picture that you shared of your lighting as
Yeah.
well, and it was tremendous. Love it. Love the atmosphere there.
Yeah, we got more things added to the wall. I added my glow gorgeous women of wrestling Funkos, which you can't really see. And of course my scissor. But I gotta look like a wrestling podcaster, right?
Yeah, I just do not have the time, money, or energy to actually carve out a little corner of my house to do that. I really should. I have cool stuff that I can put on display. I really do. Like I've got I'm looking off to my left right now, and I've got like a nice replica big gold belt from one of the companies with. So like I've got one of those. I've got a bunch of different stuff that I could put up on the walls, and I'm just haven't done it. I'm not sure if I'm ever going to, but
One
that's
day.
okay.
One day.
I'm putting the exact amount of effort in that Tony Khan appears to be putting into Ring of Honor. So
Listen, if you all of a sudden have different, backdrops randomly, all of a sudden we could switch. All the 1 minute we have two tunnels, the next minute it's LEDs. Perfect. Sounds like a great mishmash show.
hey, there what. But I guess with that, let's dive right in because this was not a long show this week. It was only 5 matches,
Yeah.
and so we kicked things off. We with 3 of the 5 matches were women's matches, which is nice to see.
Love that.
But at the same time, 2 of them were squashes. Love that slightly less.
Yeah. I was confused because I know that we'll talk about Abaddon later, but
Yes.
I don't understand why wasn't it the tournament match? Why?
That's an excellent question because they were both there. We saw them both there.
Right. It's not like they weren't available to be in the building, but ugh.
Because like DDP yoga, we are stretching. We are stretching this tournament to make it all the way to April 5th and Super Card of Honor, clearly.
We got 5 weeks. We got 5 weeks and no no
This was
championship.
it was never mentioned on commentary, but that you have to assume that's what we're doing. now that we've slowed down to one match a week, you have to assume that this means the plan is the finals at Supercard of Honor.
Why haven't they talked about it more?
Which just strikes me as an unnecessary delay. You could have churned through this tournament in the span of a couple of weeks. Still, you own the platform, so you can have shows run as long as you want. I mean, you're limited somewhat in that you don't want to tape all these matches that fast, and because you're already taping opposite Collision or Rampage or Dynamite or what have you, and so you have to deal with that. But you could have run through this tournament and still had time to build a 2 or 3 week program leading into Supercard. And you're just choosing not to.
I don't even know how to make an excuse for it at this point, because like it's not like the wrestlers aren't in the back. It's not like like you said, it's not like there's like a bought amount of time on network television channel. They have complete creative control. They have a plethora of talent. And it sucks that week after week, I just feel like it's start, stop, start, stop, start, stop. How are we going to build this road into a pay-per-view that people are supposed to purchase?
Yeah, well, the upshot there is that presumably it's going to be built into the cost of Honor Club. At least that's the presumption. And
so if
but even
if I have Honor Club, I don't need to buy this pay-per-view?
That's how Final Battle worked, as you know. So I would imagine that would be the case moving forward.
I get worried about this moving forward. Because it was this way that last time, it's going to be this way this time, because it is so inconsistent and inconsistent pricing. I mean, last year, at least for myself, purchasing some of these pay-per-views, one time it was $29. Another time it was $19.99. Another time it was $39.99. And I don't understand how are we getting these differential prices? I get it. More talent costs more money. But I'm of the mindset of, okay, an AEW pay-per-view is this amount of money. It's this many times a year. Like, I know that we're ramping up to have more shows and more pay-per-views and more events. But like, I don't know. Maybe it's because I come from the era of like with WWE, when it was like the network was $10, right?
Yeah.
That was so ingrained into my brain, just a set price. And that's great. I mean, it works.
Yeah. It's an Honor Club is $9.99 a month. So there is that. And
Whoa! Oh, that scared me.
That
I did not mean to scream. I'm so sorry.
Was that your ring light?
Yeah.
That is a ring of dishonor.
We're talking about rings today. Jeez.
We are.
The leg broke. Oh no. Well, that's great. Okay.
This is not Dante Martin.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. Hopefully that. Oh, I hate that it's in frame. I have to prop it up here. I don't know what happened to the leg.
Well, in the meantime, I will get us started here. Yes. We did open with women's television title tournament action as Layla Hirsch took on Red Velvet.
I was surprised that they started with this match.
I was as well. This felt like it was main event. This felt like it should have been the main event, just because it's the thing that is supposed to be has been the focus of your program for the last several weeks. The the winner draws Queen Aminata in the semifinals.
I know we
And this
talked about
was
that at length last week.
yes, and this was an interesting matchup. I saw that you did put on social media on Twitter that I had picked Red Velvet and you had picked Layla.
Okay.
I said I did not remember this. I trust you 100%. I trust you.
Someone's gonna factoid it. Somebody's gonna clip it here. I remember from our conversation that we were going back and forth, and I was putting my whole eggs in the basket for Layla, so to speak. And I knew that you were 50-50.
Yeah. That sounds a little bit more right. I felt like I was leaning Layla, but I genuinely don't remember. There's only so much space here, and I have to remember things about ROH from 2004. So that's clearly the important stuff.
That's fair, honestly.
But as I said, if it turns out that I'm right, I will absolutely claim it, even though I don't remember it.
Yeah. Well, I also might be making up shit, so I don't know. You never know.
Well, I trust you, and I was not gonna contradict my auntie. And
that's so nice. But yeah, that's how I remember it. Fever dream. Who cares? That's how I remember it. We were going back and forth. So
yes, but this one was Red Velvet advanced in probably the biggest win she's had to date. Advanced clean.
Yeah.
They were having a series of pinfall reversals, and Velvet caught Layla in a sunset flip, and stacked her real high on the shoulders and got the 3 count in a little under 10 minutes.
I thought it was going to be dirtier than that. I thought it was going to be a little bit messier, a little bit scrappier. But there was a point in the match where all of a sudden, Red Velvet literally put Layla Hirsch on her knees. And I went, oh man, Red Velvet is giving me a run for my prediction, I guess. I mean, she was really taking down. I mean, she's not that tall, but the best part that you can do is if you take them out by their legs, they can't German suplex you. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's just it. This was surprising. I really felt like if Red Velvet was going to advance, it was going to do something to forward the Layla Rachel Ellering story. But the part that's tricky there is it feels like the way you'd want to do that with Rachel being involved would be Rachel tries to stop some sort of nefarious cheating, and it accidentally backfires, and Layla gets pinned. Sort of like what we're doing with Willow and Chris Stat in AEW right now.
Yeah,
and
great comparison.
The catch there is, of course, that Red Velvet is not one that you'd really expect to be using any of those nefarious means to get a win. So right. it feels like a solution in search of a problem at that point. But no, this was shocking. It was a clean win for Red Velvet. This was probably the best match I've seen her wrestle, possibly in her entire run. Definitely in her ROH run.
Definitely in ROH. I'd have to think about other Red Velvet matches because remember, I'm not a huge Red Velvet fan. I'm not fully convinced that she can go, that she can be powerful, and even just be a champion. This is for the women's TV championship, and I'm not convinced yet. So
hey, this was a big win for her though, and she showed a lot to me. She really demonstrated her versatility to me. You saw looking for strikes early, sort of circling in a striking contest, which I don't think we've really seen her do to any real extent before.
Yeah.
More grappling, more going for things for holds like the short arm scissors, pinfall reversal sequences, throwing a gorgeous looking super kick that had Ian Riccaboni
Ooh.
calling out Gentleman Chris Adams.
Oh my gosh. That's so I didn't catch that. That's interesting.
Well, he made mention of Velvet sort of taking the extra step before she threw the kick to sort of generate power. It was the typical Ian Riccaboni kind of commentary moment of,
Just
Here-
stick it right
here's
in there.
yep, here's how this works, and here's why it's a cool thing, and not to be outdone, Layla Hirsch. I feel like I saw her more or less run up the ropes for a top rope moonsault. That was not even out of the corner. She was technically off the ropes.
Right. She's
Where did that
not
come
typically an aerial kind of person. There was a giant superplex from the top rope that had me gasping. Which who is this Layla? I mean, they were both throwing everything that they had. They obviously have been studying each other, because
Yes.
how else are you gonna, disarm one another?
Well, Layla in particular would be looking to disarm because, use that cross arm breaker, but well.
Hey, that's a play on words, Dad.
That's what I got. But no, this was wild. I continue to be surprised. I think Red Velvet's run comes to an end in the semifinals whenever that match airs. I'm gonna see if I can do this. I'm poking around in all of our.
Yeah.
There we go. I did it. There we go. So I don't have updated ones, but as you can see in the upper right quadrant there, Red Velvet advances. She'll be taking on Queen Aminata, who beat Taya Valkyrie last week.
Mm-hmm.
On the other side, we have Diamante and Billy Starks, and Mercedes Martinez and Abaddon. We'll get to that momentarily, but the tournament rolls on.
It's feels more tangible when I see the bracket, so I love that.
What would ROH 101 be without visual aids?
Oh.
Nonetheless, post-match, the Code of Honor is followed. Layla raises Red Velvet's hand. For a split second, I really wondered if there'd be an attack coming.
I did too, because it was a long, not like a long pause, but like a longer than usual that they kept the camera on them. So I was like, oh, is Rachel coming out?
It did feel like it lingered, and I was kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop there, and maybe that's not what's going down. But
it should be. Tell more stories. I love it.
Yes. Well, we are telling Rachel and Layla, and presumably that's going to continue happening. I don't think there was any actual injury involved, but we haven't seen Rachel in a couple of weeks since that match ended, so we might just be keeping her off TV to sell that.
Yeah.
But it was a solid outing. Probably match of the night. I'd say absolutely.
Definitely match of the night.
So after that, we go backstage with the infantry, just the infantry and Trish Adora. No Lexi Nair. No minion bestie.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe she's taking Athena's words to heart and she's not chasing around all those hacks backstage. But they're going to be in our Four Corner Survival Tag main event. They put over the new T-shirt that they've got on shophonor.com. They talk about their finish. It sounds like they have a little thinly veiled threat at the Outrunners. If you want to steal our stuff, you want to steal our, what have you, you can go to boot camp. So that's presumably still coming. And yeah, The
Have no
infantry
fear.
is such a fantastic act.
Have no fear, because the almighty infantry is here.
Hey, they are a great act. I feel like they can and should absolutely be ROH tag team champions right now.
Give them that. Come on. Number one contender right there. You want to sell merch, you want to make some money, you have a tagline,
Yep.
you have great humans that are a great face of your brand.
Yes.
Give them at
100%
least
yes.
an opportunity.
And
Something.
and we did have this from Ed earlier. Kyle was back for Dynamite. Maybe he'll show up to defend his title sometime. That's kind of in keeping with this whole idea. I did say something on social media myself about, hey, it would be great. The infantry is such a big act, and they're super over right now. They'd be a great challenge for the tag titles, but our champions are missing in action. I put it out last week, and I put it out again this week. It is now, Supercard is 4 weeks from tomorrow. 4 weeks from tomorrow. The ROH World if they win the belts, you will not miss them, as the champions have to disappear from TV.
Yeah.
It is a unique promotion where the champions somehow get less visible.
I mean,
the world champion Eddie Kingston, if you can call him the world champion still, it's part of the Continental Crown, but I think the world championship still exists
somewhere.
But that's never been clear. Be that as it may, he has not appeared on ROH TV in 9 weeks. Pure champion Wheeler Yuta has not appeared in 12 weeks. Six-man champions have not appeared in 8 weeks. TV champion has not appeared in 8 weeks. Tag team champions have not appeared in 5 weeks. And I'm pretty sure we did not see her last week. I don't believe we saw Athena last week, did we? I don't believe we did.
No.
Which means our women's champion has now not appeared for 2 weeks. And there are extenuating circumstances on a couple of them. Wheeler's been hurt. Okay,
Yeah.
fine. But that being said, you can't strip the title of him off him at some point, or at least have him send in a pre-tape.
Something. A video package. They're backstage.
Same thing with Kyle Fletcher. Get your phone out. There you go. Something that you can put on TV to let us know that these things still exist and you care.
It's just lazy. It's lazy. They're back there. They've already showed up. They're on your other television shows. I don't know how to say this without sounding like I'm a hater. I'm definitely not a hater. I just want better for Ring of Honor, because Ring of Honor is so special, and you have so many wrestlers that you've stuck on Ring of Honor to be like, try to go after these titles. Try to, go after some sort of gold that's not AEW, but it is Ring of Honor. And you're teaching me, and you're teaching the fans, that this does not matter. It is not important. So why would I invest my money every month buying, Honor Club? Why would I invest my money buying these pay-per-views? You're not rewarding your fans by putting your champions on your television show. Thus, is it your leftovers that are dancing on television for you?
Yeah. All right. I did this math as well.
Oh no.
The last world title defense was technically March 3rd, as the ROH world title is part of the Continental Crown, and that was defended at Revolution.
Okay.
The last women's title defense. Yeah, of course. The last women's title defense, February 14th. Okay. Of course, 2 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago now. With Athena and Nyla Rose in that double tables match. The last tag team title defense, January 18th. In Ring of Honor. The last TV title defense, January 18th. In Ring of Honor. The last pure title defense was January 3rd The last pure title defense in Ring of Honor was at Final Battle December 15th of last year. The last pure title defense on ROH TV was November 23rd. The last world title defense on ROH TV was November 16th. The last six-man title defense was January 17th. The last six-man title defense in ROH was at Final Battle. The last six-man title defense on ROH TV was September 21st.
Are you kidding me? Oh my God.
There have been several defenses since then, but they were all on Collision or Rampage. The fabulous Bobby Munson logs in. I think they're truly missing the mark with a TV title. Those belts were designed originally for being the workhorse title on TV week to week. Yes. And again, I will allow extenuating circumstances for Kyle Fletcher based on these issues that they could not have seen coming.
Sure.
But their track record with previous titles is we get a couple of quick defenses under our belts on ROH TV after the title change, and then they're quickly forgotten about again. So
I
yes,
don't know
there's
about
been
you.
a title defense of any sort on ROH television, well, since Athena's 3 weeks ago. But prior to that, it's been since January 18th, the last time there was a title defense on ROH TV.
I feel like I'm being scolded. I feel like I'm in trouble. But I'm not in trouble. I'm not booking the show.
No. Also, I could never be mad at you.
You could.
But I'd feel bad about it afterwards.
Yeah, you would. You would feel really bad. You wouldn't be mad. You would be disappointed.
Exactly.
Oh, gosh.
But that is my
daunting.
rant about. Yeah, that is where I'm at now with this stuff, and I'm just going to continue pointing it out. We have not had a title defense of any title that is not Athena's title. The women's world title is almost doesn't count towards these complaints because of the fact that she's been so visible here and has carried this show on her back. But
Yep.
the last title defense of a non-women's world title being in mid-January is horrid. Absolutely horrid.
I mean, like I said,
I have other words that I could use, but eventually we probably want this to be monetized, and I don't want to put that at risk.
I already said shit, so.
Oh, that puts you ahead of Chuck Taylor.
It's
one day, sexy Chuck T is going to get to say shit on TV. It's gonna be great.
all of those numbers are just so daunting, and it's so disappointing. And I want more for Ring of Honor so bad. It's not fair.
Yeah, we all do, and we just have to continue complaining, I guess. And
What's it gonna take to get just one match, just once in a while, and not 3 months, 4 months?
Well, and you just had the tag team champions show up on Dynamite and lose to the very WWE style trope of wacky mismatched tag partners who hate each other. And if you want me to believe that this is the best tag team in the world, or one of the best tag teams in the world, by virtue of holding those titles,
Right.
Any good tag team, especially one that's been together and been around as long as the Kingdom has, should beat any two big stars 8 out of 10 or 9 out of 10 times. They just should. And that they didn't is wildly disappointing. I'm not as upset about Kyle Fletcher losing to Will Ospreay in the main event of Dynamite because it's Will Ospreay.
Right.
and Kyle Fletcher looked like $1,000,000. So like that does to me that does huge amounts for him, his credibility with the TV title, and presumably Ethan Page, who we're all thinking is going to be the one to beat him for it sooner than later. Yeah, and Bobby's right again. It was a main event spot, which is big as well. So that ROH TV title in that main event spot was that was a big deal as well.
If you want people to buy your streaming platform, you have to make it worth the money.
Yeah, a lot of hey, you see this guy who just put on this banger with Will Ospreay, arguably the best wrestler in the world. He's on our platform. He's our TV champion, and he's going to be putting on ridiculous matches on the reg because he's only 25, and he's going to be out here against some of the best young talent that you may not have heard of yet, but you're going to hear of.
25.
Because that's what ROH always hung its hat on.
Yeah.
We're the guys who, maybe they're not all young guns, maybe they're not all young lions like that, and like 25, 26, 27, whatever, but those are the guys who you might not have heard of yet, but those are the guys that are going to be a big honking deal in 3, 4, 5 years.
Yeah.
And you get to see them now. And that's a thing. And you're seeing some of that still with this show. You see Lee Johnson putting it together. You see Ethan Page discovering himself and like going on this wonderful babyface run. You see Jack Cartwheel putting out ridiculous performances on the regular. You see Brian Keith showing up and having good matches. Like, you see the Workhorsemen killing it week in and week out. You see the Infantry becoming the standard bearer in ROH Tag Team Wrestling. Like, these are all things that you can build on.
Right.
But you have to build towards something. If you don't have a destination, you're never going to get there.
Well said.
So there. I'm sure that's going to be clipped now. So that'll be...
I love it. I love it.
We're just full of clippable moments tonight.
I know.
And that whole thing and that whole rant that I just went on there took probably longer than our next match. As the Living Dead girl Abaddon took on Judy Azul in a match that lasted less than 2 minutes, as expected.
Speaking of shop Ring of Honor, what is it called again? Shop.
I believe it's shophonor.com.
Shophonor.com. I took advantage of the sale this weekend, right? Because of Revolution. And there's a new Abaddon shirt that is so cool. So cool. Absolutely love them so much.
Their full screen graphic for the match promo was phenomenal.
So with all the spooky
Exactly that.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of summed up. This match was less than 2 minutes. Judy Azul making their Ring of Honor debut, looked rightfully so creeped out. They were completely overpowered by Abaddon, and Abaddon proving that they don't get paid by the hour. They get paid win or lose.
I'm genuinely not certain what the character Abaddon would even do with the winner's share of the purse. I'm not even sure what they would do with the money anyway. Paid by the hour or otherwise.
Buy more souls. I don't know.
I'm sure if you know where to look, you can find them cheap. But
More
Uh,
spooky blood things. I don't know.
yes. She did get the pin with the Black Dahlia. Uh, yeah, this was. We did see Mercedes Martinez come out to the ramp, as we said earlier during this match. Mercedes did come out to sort of watch, I guess. I'm not sure how much scouting you're going to get out of a minute and a half squash, but I
That
guess
that's the thing.
kudos for doing your due diligence.
I mean, they could have just had Mercedes in the back looking at a television, like,
Yeah. Instead, we trotted her out to prove that they were both in the building, but that for some reason we're not having this match.
For some reason, needed to do some sort of squash match right before a tournament. I don't know of a tournament in basketball, in baseball, in football that they would just have a random exhibition. But sure, feed more jobbers to Abaddon.
Yeah, it'd be the Kansas City Chiefs playing the Carolina Panthers for some weird reason, like in the off week before the Super Bowl. Like,
you just need something to
sure.
warm them up, right?
Yeah, sure. But nonetheless, we do have Abaddon and Mercedes Martinez coming up sometime soon in the next 2 weeks, I presume. If we're doing one match a week, it's going to be either this week or it's going to be either next week or the week after.
Yeah.
And
I'm hoping that it's next week, because if you put them on television this week just to put them on television and then they're gone next week, you're going to forget the impact, I'm guessing, because that's kind of that's the thing, week after week, like, you have to keep the stories going. It's not that, I'm not going to assume all fans are airheaded, forgetful little beans, little treasure troves, but I forget what's going on. I'm like, wait, oh yeah, that was a thing. I don't know. I can't. I Kyle is supposed to be the one that remembers all the things. I just go, oh, this is fun and crazy, and I liked it, and I felt great. Did you? Like, that's my niche. Did I feel the happy violence yays? Give me storyline or give me death. Come on.
Preferably both.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of storyline and eventual violence, one presumes, we head backstage after this, where Angelico and Serpentico are confronting Maria. Angelico says his knee is at 100% now, and they want the baby boys in the ring. And Maria tells, oh, I gave them the night off. They deserve it. They've been working so hard. But it doesn't matter anyway, because they don't fight losers. So maybe win a match, and then I'll think about giving you what you want. And then taunts Serpentico with the mask again and turns and leaves. And so this story is still ongoing. Serpentico is still in the all-black mask, like El Generico was around 2011 or 12 in there, during the feud with Kevin Steen. And so he's still in his intense phase. And
Yep.
And they're still chasing the baby boys.
I'm
choosing to believe, by the way, that because she gave them the week off, they're actually doing chores for her around her house. Because what good is having two strapping young lads like that in your service if they're not, mow the yard, paint the house, clean up.
What else would they be doing?
We got two little kids at home. Clean up after them.
That'll keep you occupied for a long time. Jeez.
And Mike Bennett just being completely befuddled as to why they're there, because he has no idea what Maria's been up to lately.
Because he hasn't been on television.
No, not on ROH television. He's been busy, in AEW being a disposable henchman for Adam Cole.
Yep.
But so in any event, so that was that. I'm presuming that this is. I can't imagine they stretch this all the way to Supercard.
No, there has to be some sort of payoff if we're going to keep remembering what's going on. Maybe a vignette and then a match the following week. That's pushing it.
It doesn't have to be much, but eventually something where they get the win over the Baby Boys. Serpentico gets the mask back, and everybody's happy. And oh my God, Angelico moves to the pure division. Please give me this. I'm gonna keep banging that drum.
All right, we're gonna campaign for it. Angelico 2024. Let's go.
I'm telling you, he would be a heck of a pure division competitor. That Yave submission style would be a blast in that concept. And
get it off you.
Apparently, I'm the only one who sees it.
I mean, I'm not convinced yet. I just think he's.
No one else shares the vision with me on this, and it's making me a little crazy.
All right. Hashtag.
There you go. Hashtag pure Angelico. Yes. The overlords have got the right idea.
Did I get too excited, Miss Penny?
Oh no.
She jumped down and I put my arm down and she's like licking my hand, like, calm down. It's okay. You don't need to be mad.
Okay. That's our job. It's our job to be mad on the internet.
All right.
So moving on, we have John Cruz and Lee Johnson in singles action, and Lee Johnson's win streak continues as he stretches it to 6 in a row, picking up the win with the shot drop. I had it at 6:45, and I'm pretty sure John Cruz spent about 3.5 of that on the floor.
Yeah, it was a long time. I feel like at this point they're kind of treating Lee Johnson as like not like a caged animal, but they're just occasionally throwing him pieces of meat so that he can get, his teeth sunk into it. I feel like Lee Johnson is getting thicker by the week as well. Those arms are filling out, and he's filling out here in his chest. Like, I feel like he's becoming a legitimate wrestler for contention here. So he's looking better and better every week. See, the way you feel about Angelico, I feel about Lee Johnson. So
hey, you know what? I think the plan has to be Kyle Fletcher versus Ethan Page at Supercard. But in the intervening time, it would not hurt my feelings a bit to do Kyle Fletcher versus Lee Johnson for the TV title.
Ooh. I love that.
Like, give me that and give them like you could even do a couple of them. Do it next week. Do Fletcher and Lee Johnson and let them go to a time limit draw. And then you get a blow off a week or two later to finally put it in the rearview mirror, really establish Fletcher again, establish Johnson as a big deal still, have him get that time limit draw the first time through, and then have Fletcher beat him in the rematch, and then move on to Page at Supercard.
I love it. You should book Ring of Honor. Jeez. I'm having fun just hearing this. I want to watch it. I'll pay you my $9.99 a month.
There you go. Let's make it happen. And Fletcher and Lee Johnson would be a heck of a match. I don't think it. I don't feel like you put the title on Lee yet, but he's doing well for himself. He's clearly getting better week after week, and the problem that I have with him is at this point you really haven't been given a reason to get behind him like you have with Ethan Page.
Sure.
They haven't answered the why for Lee Johnson yet. And that can come with time, but for the time being, they absolutely have not. And I don't think you really consider him a title a candidate to win a title until you've answered that.
Yeah. And it'll take some losses. Nothing refines a wrestler more by their losses. So
yeah, I think that's it. Like you've had him lose to Eddie Kingston. You've had him lose to. If Kyle took over the booking, no, because Honor Club has an established, recognized brand, and there's equity in that brand that you don't want to mess with.
See, you're too good of a person. Like that was like such a nice like, oh, the brand, what's best for business, the equity of the brand. Where if it was Auntie Club, hell yeah. Everybody is required to get tattoos of Auntie's face on their ass, you know?
And death matches every week.
Death matches every week. Violence every week.
I feel like more people would subscribe to Auntie Club this way.
Oh, it would get
a lot.
It would get expensive. It would get expensive. I'm afraid if I ever booked a wrestling show, I would Vince Russo myself and give myself the title. Burn it down real quick.
Now we need to start a crowdfunding campaign and make this actually happen.
The world does not need another failed wrestling organization here.
So crowdfunding to run a wrestling campaign doomed to fail.
Yeah,
sounds like the producers too.
There was a second producers movie.
No, there was not. But I'm just saying
that
there's your that was the joke. There was a remake to the producers, but that's about it.
That's. I love how I just didn't get the joke, and I was like, "Oh, there's a second one. Wow, okay. Sorry. I'm crying. Oh no, that's so funny."
See, this is what I told you on Twitter earlier when you asked, "What are we going to talk about?" It's fine. I'll say something stupid. You'll laugh. It'll be bing bang. It'll be great.
It'll be great. Oh, and crying.
So, Lee Johnson gets the win over John Cruz. Watching this happen allowed me to get off a Larry Zbyszko joke on Twitter because Larry Zbyszko was well known for his going outside the ring and stalling during matches. So, again, I'm probably the only one who's ever thought to reference Larry Zbyszko during a Ring of Honor show, but here we are. And
John Cruz is such a good. I mean, I hate using the enhancement talent, right? He's such a good at making other people look good.
Yes.
And that's what we needed, another week to make Lee Johnson look good. So
the Barry Horowitz of Ring of Honor.
Who is Barry Horowitz?
Oh no. Yeah, I saw producer Bobby in the other window patting himself on the back. Barry Horowitz was an enhancement talent in the WWF I believe he even started into the late 70s, but I'm not 100% certain on that. Definitely into the 80s, and was there forever. It was his famous thing was he patted himself on the back. He at one point had a ring jacket with a literal red handprint in between his shoulder blades. And his big claim to fame, he actually got what could charitably be called a push around 1995 or so, where he beat Chris Candido, who was one of the Body Donnas at that point. It was Chris Candido, Tom Pritchard, and Sonny as their manager, and their whole bit was fitness experts, and they called themselves the Body Donnas.
Yep.
And
I've seen that episode of.
There's Ed popping in. Ed might remember some of this from WWF in the mid '90s, but yes, see, there we go. Chris Candido was Skip, and Tom Pritchard was Zip. and then their manager Sonny. Barry Horowitz got a win over Chris Candido on TV and got an upset win over Skip, and it led to a match between them at, I believe it was SummerSlam '95, and it was the most exposure that Barry Horowitz ever got. But this is actually a nice departure. Actually, I'm usually going way into the weeds on some minutia from Ring of Honor. Instead, I'm talking about a jobber from the WWF from the mid who, for some reason, got a SummerSlam payday. And
yeah,
in any event, he obviously stuck around for as long as he did because he was good at what he did. And that's the reference that I make with John Cruz there. He's entertaining. He makes the guys he's in the ring with look good, and he's just fun to watch. So,
wow, 11 minutes
there
and
we go.
21 seconds. All right. I remember watching this, but I was a baby. Not a baby. Just I wasn't in school yet, so just a little fella.
Little Auntie.
Oh,
There we go. And yes, he said Tommaso Ciampa is emulating him when he does the self back pats and matches in honor of Barry Horowitz. That was what
that's
that
what
was.
that is.
That is. Yep. Only Ciampa always does his a little bit more crazed than Barry ever did. Barry's was just very like smug and proud of himself, and Ciampa looks a little bit unhinged when he does it, which is a fun dichotomy.
It fits.
So, and Tommaso Ciampa was once in ROH, so okay, that's what I'm going to use. It's going to bring us back to ROH and Honor Club. Okay, we're back now.
We're back
as Nyla Rose thoroughly eviscerated poor 19-year-old Erica Denia.
Oh, if you ever want to see a murder, there you go. That's a murder.
The first thing in my notes was, this is announced as a 20-minute time limit. I don't think it'll take a tenth of that. And it did not.
It did not.
They played a little silliness with the code of honor, but that's just a ruse because Nyla attacks her before the bell.
Kick you in the knee.
Despite only being 19, Erica has worked CZW. She's worked New South Pro Wrestling, a few independents throughout the Carolinas. So maybe this is someone we're going to see more of in the coming years. But for right now, sorry you got fed to Nyla Rose.
Yeah, it was used to show exactly. I mean, just like the Abaddon match, it's used to make Nyla look just as beastly as her name suggests. I mean, she ragdolled her, she moved her around, she hit impactful moves that would take anyone out, but just really proving that it's going to take a lot more than, just a wrestler to take down Nyla. Although I really do think that this, going back a couple weeks to that 2 out of 3 tables match with Athena, that it really still speaks to Athena that she pulled out the win, because Nyla is so powerful and so impactful and really a force to be reckoned with, inside the squared circle and even outside of the squared circle. So, you're only as good as your latest competitor. So I don't know.
It was a fun match with Athena, and I still love the idea that that Nyla was such a physical overmatch for her almost, and so thoroughly dominated her physically, and that's something that I feel like could be a lot of fun to come back to, because the tables match really allowed Athena to mask that.
Yeah.
And I do wonder, where we go from here with it. If there's something that you can play with for super card between the two of them, maybe, I don't know, maybe a cage, maybe the first female fight without honor, maybe some way where you have to ramp up the violence, but you don't allow yourself to do it in such a way that allows Athena to escape without physically pinning her and
Absolutely.
proving that you have that.
Give it to me.
And then Bobby, if Max the Impaler was not currently signed to NWA, maybe they'd be a perfect match in terms of strength against Nyla. Oh, Max and Nyla would be absurd.
Fit Jordan Grace in there, and then give me an hour. Thank you. I'll never ask for anything more. Daddy Tony Khan. Oh. Anyway,
there's some power there. Oh my goodness. But yeah, Beast Bomb, minute 50. It did not, in fact, take a 10th of the 20-minute time limit. Presumably, we're still building towards another match. I guess it's going to be at Supercard, and we'll. To me, that's the only reason why Nyla's still hanging around. Otherwise, the villain is vanquished, and she goes back to AEW TV, or maybe I don't know. But I'm going to enjoy Nyla while we have her, regardless, because she is so entertaining, so much fun in the ring, so much fun out of the ring. So enjoy her while she's here.
I agree.
And we run a quick commercial for AEW Dynasty. And then it's our main event, match 5, our main event, 4-corner survival tag match.
It's my favorite kind of match.
The team of Jack Cartwheel and Gringo Loco against the Workhorsemen, against the Infantry, against Spanish Announce Project. This was about just shy of 10 minutes and just bonkers action everywhere, as you'd expect. Bodies flying everywhere. Jack from Jack Cartwheel doing like high-speed cartwheels in place to show off in front of right in front of JD Drake. It's like he's gonna do it too, only to chop the soul out of Jack Cartwheel's body.
I mean, if that's what it takes to stop the spinning, I mean.
And Jack dodged him for a little while, but eventually, like, JD got that.
ROH survival matches. It's my favorite stipulation. Come on.
Hey, 4-corner survival dates back in Ring of Honor almost to the beginning. That's been a staple of Ring of Honor forever. And some of them have been high flying, some of them have been comedy, some of them have been big time violence, some of them have been. It's been just about every type of match that you can imagine under those stipulations. Very versatile.
Wow.
But Jack Cartwheel was absolutely the star of this match. Just some of the ridiculous things he did. Back flipping out of a Canadian destroyer from Serpentico. Are you kidding me?
Kidding me?
Absurd. He went into what appeared to be like a Sasuke special, and got boosted by Gringo onto the pile on the outside.
That was really cool.
Like, just absolutely absurd. Like, if Jack Cartwheel's not signed on like a per appearance deal in Ring of Honor at some point, I don't know why you wouldn't. The dude is absolutely a crowd pleaser every time out.
That crowd loved him.
God,
they were so into this match.
Run him and Kyle Fletcher.
That's a little too fast for me. Oh no, I'll get dizzy. As long as he
I mean,
doesn't take a camera with him while he's doing the spins, I think we're good, right?
mount mount a GoPro in his, in his or something, and then
No. Oh. And the crowd goes, "What?"
and the crowd
That's,
goes nauseous.
yeah, nauseous. Dad jokes are on fire today. They're good.
Yeah, I know, Ed. No Kyle Fletcher for Ring of Honor. He can only work Dynamite. It feels like it,
I
but
know.
uh,
Ed, we
it's
went on
okay.
a rant.
But it's okay because once he winds up dropping the title to Ethan Page, then Ethan's story will be done, and then he can go back to AEW with the TV title too. It'll be great.
I don't like that cycle. I don't want to joke about that.
I'm not joking. It's almost a prediction at this point.
I hate it. And it's I don't want to get to the point where I'm watching a show that I do love, but it gets to that point where like in 2018, 2019 in WWE where they just did the roll up every freaking match. It was a surprise freaking roll up. Why do I watch these matches? Why do I waste my time? I'm, my blood pressure. I feel my heart rate going up.
This is not a prediction. It's a spoiler.
Listen, congratulations to him for being inducted into the Hall of Fame that doesn't have any value.
Physical space. Yeah. I know, but still, so that was our show this week. Carly Bravo did get the win. The infantry picked up the win. Carly Bravo pins Gringo Loco following boot camp. The infantry continue to roll on. Is the most devastating move in sports entertainment. How dare you disrespect the surprise roll up? I thanks. I hate it.
Thanks, I hate it. I don't like it. No, thank you. Yeah, this main event was chaos and wild and feral, and I loved it. The crowd loved it.
I don't see how the infantry has to be your number one contenders, right?
Obviously, that's what we're shoehorning in. Hopefully,
well,
they're not
the infantry is as good a choice as any because I mean, let's face it, they're talented, they're over, they've racked up a few wins, like that. It's ticking the boxes. They can talk, they can hold up their end of the whole thing. I think you can drop Undisputed Kingdom right back into ROH at any given time, and they can still run we're the gatekeepers nonsense. But whereas earlier it was there was a little smidgen of babyface in it because you felt how much they still loved Ring of Honor, even if they were being a little bit overbearing in their gatekeeper attitudes. Here it can play as just complete BS, just complete hypocritical nonsense. Because you're gonna hold yourself up as the gatekeeper when you never show up for work, kind of thing. You know, and you can drop them in at a moment's notice. They can play that same song and dance. It can be taken in a different way, and now you have the infantry who's able to say, "No, we're the ones here week in, week out." And yeah, this is sounding a lot like the John Cena Rock promo from. But
I mean, to be fair, Matt Taven and Mike Bennett are undisputedly the best Ring of Honor tag champ in all its different iterations, right?
I'm not gonna say that, but based on the Briscoes. But
well,
yes.
oh yeah, okay. Well, that's not possible right now, unless there's ghosts fighting. But
sorry, I'm going to bring this in really quick. For the many viewers we do have live watching tonight, do remember to give myself a follow and Auntie a follow. Hang out with us. We will give you some of those information at night's end. But yeah, make sure you do that. So thanks for joining us. But go ahead, Auntie. Sorry.
Okay. Well, I was just saying that when I first started watching, Ring of Honor, what, like a little over 10 years ago, casually, Matt Taven and Mike Bennett were, kind of wrapping up this entire culmination. I mean, it was like years and years of just back and forth, having people go in and out of the kingdom, building really this reputation for themselves of being the gold standard. And if I'm the infantry and they have the tag titles, I don't want to be fighting this, Adam Cole's bitch. I want to be fighting the standard, what they were, how they've been, how they could be. Because if I want gold and I want championship, I want to know that I beat the best and not somebody's bitch. Sorry, I said bitch so many times. Sorry. But it goes back to the Queen Aminata and Taya Valkyrie thing, where she didn't want to be fighting this version of Taya. She wants the old Taya. That's how I feel about the Undisputed Kingdom. Give me them on television. Just make them murder people, and then I'm gonna actually feel like it's worth something and not a cheap replica belt. Come on, give it to me. Auntie wants it.
Yeah, the promo writes itself. Give us the kingdom that was going blow for blow with the Briscoes. Give us the Matt Taven who was winning the ROH World Title in a ladder match at Madison Square Garden.
Oh, such
Give
a
us
good
the
show.
Mike Bennett. Give us the Mike Bennett who was sending people to the hospital with his pile driver. Like those guys.
These are the guys that they
there.
were, and they have a reputation of being. That's why they have jobs. But anybody else,
they're one of a very few teams that held 3 different versions of the ROH tag title belts. They're former they're former IWGP heavyweight tag team champions.
It's a great lineage. You want to come up, buddy? Come on.
So this is who we could have, and this is.
He agrees. He agrees.
Absolutely. As he should. As he should. We're making very valid points here, and we should be listened to. But get the Kingdom back on TV. Bring Kyle Fletcher back on TV. Yuta's still injured, so either strip him of the belt or like this has gone on long enough. Athena, okay, it's been a couple of weeks, but brutal match. Okay, fine. She's been carrying this show. She's earned it. Get Eddie back here because, oh my God, who's Eddie facing in 4 weeks? I got terrified Wednesday night at Kazuchika Okada's debut because he laid out Eddie with the Rainmaker and then gestured the belt around his waist. And I said, absolutely not.
We'll never see the championship ever again. We'll never see it again.
No.
Eddie versus Okada. Listen.
That's what, he said Eddie versus Okada. And that would be amazing. As a match, it would be absolutely amazing. But that build is not happening on Ring of Honor. If Okada wins the belt, he's not coming to Ring of Honor. You've made your priorities abundantly clear with this. And if Eddie wins, then you've beaten Okada in his first real feud.
I couldn't imagine though AEW spending all that money for Okada for him to just win the ROH. I don't know. That would be.
It says he has been in all the ROH Supercard video packages. Is going to be Okada. My understanding was, and I have to go back and rewatch them, that those were just clips from previous Supercard events that Okada did participate in. They're kind of going for an historical bend with that.
I'm gonna be sad. Don't.
I'm so torn in multiple directions here because Eddie versus Okada would be objectively amazing. But I also
Right.
know how this build will happen, how this build will work, and it's not happening on ROH. And almost no matter who wins, it's unlikely that either of them are coming back to ROH anytime soon. I said it on social media. I said it on Twitter as well when I saw the announcement for Collision, where we're going to get Bryan Danielson versus Shane Taylor on Saturday night, which will be amazing. And I said I need future world champion Shane Taylor to be getting some more wins. And
absolutely,
at this point, that's where I'm at right now: is run Shane Taylor and Eddie Kingston and put the world title on Shane Taylor.
Absolutely, he shows up to work more.
I don't care if you split the Continental Crown at this point. Like, it's the whole thing's a mess.
It just feels like they did it just to give Eddie gold after people were watching Eddie lose title match after title match after title match. So, I mean, and I'm saying this as an Eddie stan. Like, Eddie is my favorite wrestler right now.
Yeah.
And it feels disrespectful, and we don't like being disrespected.
Like, is the AEW Continental Championship going to be a thing?
I don't know.
Like,
They haven't.
separate from.
There was a belt at one time, and then it disappeared. So, and he doesn't wear all three.
We're probably getting Eddie versus Okada. It seems to make the most sense based on what we saw on Wednesday. It will be amazing. The build will be underwhelming and will happen far away from Ring of Honor, which is wildly disappointing. I really, really hope I'm wrong about all of this, but nothing I've seen to date makes me believe that I am. And the people that have put in so much work into making this promotion a thing are sort of being forgotten. And I don't think it takes much to change it, but it takes the will to do so. And I said something else on social media tonight where it was we've had these 5-match shows the last couple of weeks presumably based on the weird taping schedule surrounding AEW Revolution.
Sure.
But it feels like you can find a medium point between this and the 12, 13, 14 match marathons. And I didn't mind the bigger cards as long as the stuff that was happening on them was consequential.
Right. Makes sense. Make it make sense.
If you have a 2-hour show that's advancing stories, that involves your champions, that moves things forward, awesome. I'll watch the hell out of that every single week and talk about it for 3 hours on here afterward. I don't care.
Our first episode.
We're approaching an hour. We're over an hour 20 now for an episode that ran just under 50 minutes.
Yeah.
So
that's what we get.
So we're 4 weeks out from Supercard. I'm going to continue to hope that something's going to happen. I'm going to continue to hope that I'm actually here to talk about it because we talked about that briefly. I did mention this on my Twitter as well, that I am going to be potentially stepping away for a couple of weeks over the next couple of months because I'm going to be on stage in a local community theater production, which should be super fun. Jazz hands all around.
Yay!
But it does mean that there might be some Thursday nights where I'm not around for a couple of months. We'll kind of see. We're going to play that by ear. We're going to make sure that Honor Ramble continues to come to you every week. But it might be a rotating cavalcade of surprise guests coming in to hang out with Auntie.
It'll be fun.
Because who wouldn't want to come hang out?
It would be big. It'll be big shoes for me to fill. I'll have to take notes and make up. Oh my gosh, what if I just made up a bunch of facts and they're not true? And I have to be like, Kyle, you have to go watch the episode. I made up a couple of facts. You have to find them. And I'm just saying BS. That's what I'm going to do. Okay. That's
Oh,
it.
okay.
Come,
There you go.
come
It's gonna
make
be a
up
test.
fake history so that Kyle can come back faster.
Oh, it's gonna be a fun test. It's gonna be great. Honor Ramble Easter eggs. There you go.
Perfect. And Easter is in a
It
couple
is
weeks.
Easter season.
So
That's right. So I do have the numbers from this week before we go into plugs and things. Total show time was 49 minutes 15 seconds. Total ring time was 29:44. Percentage ring time was 60.37% this week. A little bit up, I believe a little bit up from last week. Average match time 5:57 because you had two squashes, one extended squash, and 2 actual matches.
whew,
So we had some fun tonight. We rambled. We went all over the place. We went an extended tour of Barry Horowitz for some reason, which was fun. We ranted about the last time any of the titles were defended. Remember that. Keep that factoid. The last non-women's title defense in ROH was January 18th. And just think about that and take as long as you need with it, because
I was at
when I
another
saw
job.
it made me want to walk into the ocean.
I was at another job, right? I've been at my new job now for almost 2 months.
Yeah.
It seems crazy. That's crazy. It's crazy. I'm a different person. You're a different person. So you had different
True.
hair. So
It's true. But in any event, I think that's about everything. Did you have any final thoughts on this week's episode?
listen, it was bookended by some great matches. So, I mean, it's like making a grilled cheese sandwich with like really fancy bread, but then you put Kraft macaroni, not macaroni, Kraft cheese. Actually, that would be really good. Oh my God.
I know what Collins is doing after this.
Yeah. Oh, I feel like I would need a Pepsi AC or something after that, but putting some of that Kraft, I give that cheese to my dogs. So, putting some nice cheese, nice bread with some, cheap cheese. And it's fine. It's a fine grilled cheese sandwich. But what I'm looking for is to be a little bit more substantial, something that'll hold me over for the next week. And as we're going into Supercard, it's a little bit difficult and a little frustrating. So that is that's my final thoughts. It was a fine. If it wasn't for those bookended matches, I'd just be starving. Have to go, make up some.
Yeah. Show was probably a C this week.
American cheese. Excuse me.
Oh,
American cheese.
American is the only
trash.
Well, that sounds about white. And I say that as the whitest person you have ever met in your life. So I'm going to leave that one right there. I'm going to leave that one right there, and just nope, we're not going to touch that any further than that. I feel like I'm allowed to say that, but I'm genuinely not sure. If not, I wholeheartedly apologize.
You are. It's fine.
No, I give the show a C this week.
Oh, yeah, C minus.
Yeah, because it was adequate at best. It was nothing special. Nothing amazing happened. You didn't get anything from Athena. You didn't hear anything from the minions. There was no Lexi Nair. There was no update on Johnny and the boys.
I miss them. I need to know how they are. Are they well fed? Where
do Johnny and Taya know how to take care of them?
Oh my gosh. And we didn't even talk about on our recap that the scene, the stage was different for 2 of these matches.
Yes. A couple of
So
those matches were taped after Dynamite last night because the stage was different.
it's different. That's confusing. Did not
And
like
when,
that.
well, it's the best I can say is hopefully we're getting back to normal next week.
Let's hope. Let's hope.
Yes.
Okay.
But that is it. So I guess let them know where they can find you.
All right, you can find me in your dreams. No. I'm on one. I want to make a grilled cheese sandwich now. So watch me make a grilled cheese sandwich over on the Twitters, on TikTok, on Instagram at _queer auntie. Please don't be weird. Please don't be sending me DMs that are inappropriate. But let's watch wrestling and have a good time. And watch me make a grilled cheese sandwich with not American cheese.
Because I mean, you got to have standards.
Oh, Kyle, where can we find you?
I am at Kyle K Sparks on Twitter. Technically on Instagram, I rarely use it. Technically on TikTok, I even more rarely use that. I have both. I have both of them because I do work on digital marketing as my day job, and so I kind of have to be on them, even though I don't use them personally. But I'm there. If you really want to follow another account that's not going to actually post anything, knock yourself out. But I am usually on Twitter at Kyle K Sparks. Anything that I'm doing will be announced there. If I happen to be live tweeting a show, it'll be there. We're getting into spring practice and the NFL draft football season, so I'll be talking about my teams there, the Michigan State Spartans, Green Bay Packers. I'll be talking football there occasionally, so a little bit of everything. Have some fun with that, and I'm here every Thursday night with you for Honor Ramble on our local establishment at OLE Podcasts. Give them a follow as well. Make sure you follow them on Twitch, on YouTube, on Twitter, on all their socials as well. Lots of great programs out there. We are preceded on Thursdays by Bobby, who runs Ring Respect Radio, and they do great work there, talking classic territories and talking all sorts of fun stuff there. You've got Astrid and Ed, who are just a fantastic odd couple talking wrestling. Lot of fun stuff on this channel, in addition to, obviously the A show, the two of us, but, no, make sure to give our local establishment a follow wherever you find their stuff. Follow myself, follow Collins. Don't upset your auntie, and we will see you next week.
And we haven't officially announced it yet because I was waiting for my logo guy to come back with it, but come cry about wrestling on Sundays, on Sunday mornings. We'll put the times up. It's me and Kylie over on Fightful Overbooked. So two of my
literal favorite people.
I love it. But yeah, it's called Wrestling Made Me Cry. So we can cry about wrestling.
Love it.
All right.
All right. Thanks for that. Make sure you check that out. Give us follows, and we'll see you next week. Bye, gang.
Bye.